if what I'm doing affects someone else, like just through just doing it, then that's more their issue than my issue. Hey guys, and welcome to week 8's update of Not a Prep. So this weekend I have been on a stag-do, which I told you last week if you'd watched. Basically, you're going to see my sheets, so go to this time if you just want to go straight to the results. But people often kind of put off starting something because of events such as stag-dos, birthdays, weddings, parties, so on and so forth. So they just see these as huge obstacles and barriers that are going to potentially undo all their hard work done prior to that. What you must do is learn to incorporate these things into your goals. Now, this is not a prep, as the label suggests, the name, the title suggests, but one day it might become a prep, okay? So at this phase, it's just general fat loss. And that's all a prep is. It is just fat loss. There's nothing magic about prepping for a photo shoot or a bodybuilding show. It's just fat loss taken a little bit further. Okay, so at this moment, it's just general fat loss. I need to burn more calories than my body requires to maintain weight. That's how it works. That is physiology. It can't be argued with. Okay, it's physics. It is what it is. So what I do in these kind of periods of time is firstly just acknowledge and accept it is what it is. I will probably at the very least be at maintenance for that week. Okay, so I went away, I enjoyed myself, I drank alcohol. That's my first drink in 2020. My last one was in 2019, last year. But basically, I just kind of went, okay, then, yeah. And I just made it part of the process. And I just kind of set myself some, kind of rules. So I took away some protein shakes. I took away some supplements because I still wanted frequent protein feedings. The way I structured my meals is I would have a protein shake first thing on the morning. We'd go for lunch. Generally a protein shake or something on the afternoon. We'd go out drinking, and then something later on the evening, which was fine, and it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. The right answer often lies somewhere in the middle. I wasn't going to be this person who's like, oh, I'm dieting, I can't do this, I can't do that. I actually said these are the things I'm going to do, which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I am not having fun, basically. And that's what often people associate fat loss with. They associate fat loss with a diet, and then they associate dieting with being miserable and boring and all of this sort of stuff. But my attitude towards those sorts of things is firstly, if what I'm doing affects someone else, just through just doing it, then that's more their issue than my issue. I'm not bothered. I literally, if I eat in a certain way and something like that, if that bothers someone else, it's like, how, mate, get a life. Secondly, I still wore my Fitbit, and me and my mate Nick, when we went to Barcelona, we ended up doing this as well. We did something quite touristy. When everybody else in bed on the morning nursing the hangovers, we would just go out for a wander and a walk. And by the time people were up and ready, we'd already hit 12,000, 13,000 steps. And that's another thing. I had a good amount of control on the steps or the energy outside of equation. And this whole weekend is really just been about kind of damage limitation, and not for it to be overly disruptive. So I went away, for example, last Monday I was 83.5 kilos. This Monday today I am 82.5, so I'm a kilo down from last Monday, but my lowest weight was 81.9 last week, and I'm 82.5. So basically I'm just kind of nothing's changed. everything I do is very habit based. So once I've actually like returned to kind of normal, this is normal. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I've got to start that diet again. And this is where like periods of maintenance come in, because obviously like the more body fat you lose, the more your body's kind of going to fight back. And to get to a happy, easily maintainable body weight should be kind of like somewhat effortless to maintain that body weight. And when people are taking their bodies to an extreme, a very low percentage, that is not normal. That is not healthy. So when if I decide to go that far, I will return happily back to normal. My self-worth isn't based upon what I look like or how much I weigh. So with clients, I tend to really drive that. If the weight scales are plateauing and they are like freaking out, which it does happen, I just say chill out, be patient, and remember that's just one form of measurement. There's other subjective and objective ways of measuring progress. How do you feel? I feel great. Clothes are looser. I can see a little bit of definition here and there. My clothes, so more objective stuff, my clothes are looser. The tape measures down. So the scale's just one thing. So it's important that you don't just get overly obsessed with numbers and all of that sort of jazz. But like adopting periods of maintenance, because eventually when you've lost all of the weight, the rest of your life is maintenance. And we want that maintenance to kind of be with the intention of like, right, I can maintain this weight, but also have freedom within my life. So me, I could maintain a lower body weight than say my normal weight, which is around 88 to 90 kilos. But if I wanted to maintain like an 82 kilo frame, that requires a bit more effort. And I'm quite happy with like having this effortless 88, 89, 90 area where I don't have to track any calories. I don't have to, I can have a drink on the weekend and things like that, like, you know, a couple of glasses of wine or whatever. And that's another thing, didn't track any calories over the weekend. I was just mindful and aware. My food choices don't massively change. Did have a pizza one night. We also had a McDonald's. That's the first McDonald's I've had in probably, God, 5 years or something like that. Ridiculous. But yeah, it's just like, it is what it is. I'd rather have like a pizza in a sit-down restaurant than kind of what people get, like they attach too much emotion to the diet. They feel like they failed, and then they go absolutely acca and way over the top and binge. So it's like removing the emotion from the equation, like calories in, calories out. It's just a bit less emotional. It is what it is. It's science. Whereas if people are a little bit more like attaching self-worth to their ability or lack of ability to stay on the plan, you're going to always be in this perpetual dieting cycle. So like learning to maintain and accepting maintenance and accepting like, hey, I'm going to move the goalposts so that I am successful. My aim this weekend was to have fun, and at the cost of maybe being in a slight surplus, I accepted that. Okay, but in the grand scheme of things, let's say if I do something later in the year, how significant has this been? It's not significant. So if people binge and go crazy, that is significant. And if that leads them to going on to this weekly kind of restriction, Monday to Friday, Friday through till Sunday, like eating and binging and this cycle, my first port of call is like, we need to stop the boat rocking. We need to educate about energy balance. We need to maybe have a period of maintenance while we build the foundations up so that a caloric deficit isn't an emotionally driven good food, bad food situation. So to me, that's just how I've kind of mentally managed the weekend. Physiologically, nothing's really changed. If anything, the shower there was really good. It was a hot shower. So when I got out, there was a big mirror there. I could see like a lot of veins going on my chest and up my abs and things like that. So people that do bodybuilding, you know, they'll go on a sunbed, or they'll get out the bath, or they'll get out of a really hot shower, and they'll see the veins really come through the legs or the arms or the actual torso and all of that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of positive signs there. Now it's just back to normal. I'm going to run a caloric deficit for maybe another week or two, and then I'm going to have maybe a week or two at maintenance, and then go from there. Anyway, I hope that's helped. Any questions, just slide in a DM or write on this kind of thread, and we'll go from there. So as I said, I am going to make this fairly quick if you actually watch the entire video. So last week I started off at 83.5. There was some sort of, the weight just didn't drop really. As I anticipated. I did expect I'd be in the 81s, which I was, but I felt particularly within this weigh-in, I was just holding a bit of bloat off the fibre. We had a Sunday lunch. These measurements I just guessed as I pushed. Guess? Yeah, it's a guess. And then, yeah, 82.5 this morning. We're going to see how this weight plays out across the week, because I might have just been a bit dehydrated, so we'll see how it levels off as. But like I say, straight back into the plan. There was no tracking. I did hit a new low, but I didn't track. I was away on the stag-do, which I've just noted there. If I go to my daily assessments, we can look at the stag-do figures. Averaged, what's that number saying? Well, basically averaged, count numbers, 3. Oh, there, didn't know it did that. Averaged 21,000 steps over those 3 days. Sleep wasn't great, as you can imagine, but it wasn't crazy. We didn't go to, well, I didn't personally go to bed till 3-4 o'clock. I was in bed the first night by 1:45, the second night 1:45. So I'm not a massive drinker, but I enjoyed myself and it was fun. But yeah, that's it so far. Any questions, as I said, just ask away. Anyway, hope that helps. Speak soon.